Laying down on our backs. Flat on your back if that's comfortable to you. If you have a prop and you want to use it, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we'll roll our shoulder blades under, leave our palms face up, maybe a little bit of space in between our legs here, in between our feet. And take a few breaths. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, I'd invite you to do that now. Or if you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone, you're welcome to do that as well. Take a few more breaths, and then I want you to slowly bring your left hand on top of your belly and bring your right hand on top of your heart. We're just going to feel our breath here as it enters and leaves our body. Breathing deeply. Focusing on inhaling and feeling our body expand, and exhale, feeling our body relax. We'll just continue breathing like this for a few moments. Slowly, we'll bring our feet together, pointing our toes, reaching our arms up over our head, reaching them out long behind us. And stack your palms. And we're slowly going to start bringing our arms over towards the right, walking them off our mat. And then slowly we're going to start bringing our feet over to the right as well. So we're making a crescent moon shape with our body. Feeling that stretch in the side body. Slowly we'll start walking our feet back to center, and then walking our hands back to center, taking a full body stretch, extending our fingertips as far away from our toes as we can, and then we'll slowly start walking the hands over to the left, off the mat, and walking the legs over to the left as well, making that crescent moon shape with our bodies. Few breaths, feeling that side stretch. Slowly, you're going to walk your hands and your feet back towards center. Taking another nice full body stretch here, and then you're going to roll yourself over onto the right side and gently press yourself up to a seated position. We're going to press ourselves up to deer pose so that our right leg is forward and our left leg is back. Almost like a cheerleader sits. That makes more sense to me than deer pose, but. And as we inhale, we're going to reach up, and as you exhale, gently bend over to the right. And slowly we're going to rotate till that left hand meets the ground, and we're going to walk our hands forward, bending over that right leg. walk yourself back up to center. We're going to reverse our legs. So the left leg is coming out front. The right leg is to the side, coming into deer pose on the other side. Arms will reach up and our left hand will drop to the ground as we reach over, reaching long through the right fingertips. And then we'll rotate our torso down, bringing that right hand to the ground. And using both hands, we'll walk ourselves forward. Bending over that left leg, folding over the left leg. And slowly begin walking yourself back up. And we're going to come onto tabletop pose, coming to hands and knees. Taking a moment to set ourselves up in the perfect tabletop, knees below the hips, wrists below the shoulders. Belly button is pulled into spine and back is long and flat. We're going to take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to sit back on the heels, walking our fingertips forward, coming into child's pose. Using our fingertips to grip the mat and pull ourselves a little bit deeper. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to raise our hips, arching our back, pulling our belly button into our spine, tucking our chin into our chest, coming into cat pose. And as you inhale, let your belly fall, raising your sternum, coming into cow. And sitting back on our heels to child's pose. Taking an inhale here, using that exhale to draw yourself up to cat, arching the back as much as you can. Inhaling, letting the belly hang, raising the sternum, opening the throat for cow. And sitting back on your heels to child's pose. And go ahead and flow like this a few more times with your own breath. Over exaggerating the movements to get the most out of the stretch. Feel free to move as fast or as slow as feels good to your body. And the next time we come to child's pose, we'll hold. Sitting back on the heels, reaching our fingertips out far in front of us. Taking an inhale here, exhale, drawing ourselves up to tabletop. Tucking the toes, hovering the knees an inch above the ground for bear pose. Bending into the knees, pushing our hips up towards the sky, pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog, and then slowly pedaling the feet as we lift the hips, coming into downward facing dog. Pressing into the hands, we'll press our chest back towards our thighs. Bending into the knees, we'll bring our knees an inch above the ground for bear pose, and slowly we'll push ourselves forward into plank. Bending into the knees, we'll hover the knees once again for bear pose, and then we'll lift our hips for downward facing dog. Bending into the knees, hovering the knees above the ground for bear. Pressing the hips forward, bringing your shoulders past your wrists, coming into plank. Bending into the knees for bear, and lifting the hips for downward facing dog. Once more, bending into the knees for bear pose, shifting ourselves forward, coming into plank, and lifting the hips to downward facing dog. And this down dog will hold for a few moments. Really press, spread the fingertips wide, pressing into the pads of the fingers, pressing your chest back towards your thighs. And slowly looking forward, we'll bend into the knees as much as we can, looking forward between the hands, and we'll rocket ourselves forward, jumping to the top of the mat, or stepping if you prefer. And in this first forward fold, if you'd like to grab your elbows, you can, and sway from side to side, just to help get your body ready for the practice. You're welcome to let your hands hang down, coming into ragdoll. Or if you want to deepen the forward fold, you can grab behind your calves or your ankles and pull your chest closer to your thighs. And we're going to bend that right leg as we straighten the left. And we're going to begin walking our hands over to the left towards that straight leg. Straightening the left leg, bending into the right. Walking our hands, feeling that stretch in the outer edge of the thigh. And we'll walk our hands back to center. We'll straighten the right leg, bending the left. And walk our hands over to the right. And our hands will come back to center. Place your hands on your hips. And very slowly lift your chin, lift your chest, lift your elbows, coming up with a flat back. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, arms reach again. And this time as you exhale, we're going to come into a little back bend. So pull your belly button into your spine and slowly start letting your eyes walk across up the wall, maybe across the ceiling, lifting your sternum to the side or to the sky, and cactus your arms, pulling your shoulder blades together. And inhale, reach back up. And as you exhale, swan dive down, coming to that forward fold. Hands on shins, halfway lift. Forward fold. I'm going to go to the other side so you can see me. And we're going to step that right leg back, coming into low lunge. And we're going to drop the right knee down to the mat. And we're going to sink into the hips. We'll raise our arms up and sink into the hips. Let that, both of your hips are pointing forward. We're just going to really sink, opening up the hips here. And we'll cactus our arms once again, coming into cactus back bend. And lift yourself back up. We'll place our left hand, and we'll come back, placing our right hand inside our left foot, and our left arm will reach to the sky for easy twist. Twisting our torso to the left. Leaving your torso twisted to the left, you're going to bring that left hand behind your back, the left arm behind your back, and you're going to reach the right arm up and over, keeping that twist to the left. Reaching that right arm up and over your ear. And slowly we'll cartwheel the hands back down to frame the foot. Bring the left hand inside of the left foot. We're going to come into lizard. And moving from the hip flexor, you're going to come up on the blade edge of that left foot and just start opening the hip. And you're welcome to stay here. If you'd like, you can come down onto your forearms. If you'd like a little bit deeper of a stretch. Or if you want even more, you can reach that left arm behind you, bend the right knee, and grab that right foot with the left hand if you'd like to take a quad stretch with your hip opener. We have a lot of hips in this practice. A lot of hip opening. And slowly we'll release that foot. Bring the left hand back inside of the left foot. Come back onto the left foot, flat on your left foot, so you're not on the edge anymore. And you're going to lift up that right knee, and we're gonna rotate the right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat, almost like you're coming into warrior two. We'll bring the left forearm on top of the left thigh, and we'll reach the right arm open, coming into side angle. And slowly we'll bring the right hand back down, come up on the right toes, framing that left foot. And we'll step the right foot in, coming to forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold. And then we'll step the left leg back for low lunge. Plant the left knee down. Place the left hand inside of the right foot as we sweep the right arm up to the sky for easy twist. And keeping our torso twisted to the right, we're going to bring the right hand behind our back and lift that left arm up and over our left ear, still twisted over to the right. And we're going to bring that left hand down inside of the right foot. We'll bring the right hand down as well, coming into lizard. Maybe heel toe the right foot out a little bit if you need to. And we'll, opening up through the hip, we'll come onto the blade edge of that right foot, coming into lizard pose, opening from the hip. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can come down to the forearms. If you'd like a little bit more, you can bend that, you can bend that left knee and bring the right arm back behind you, bring the right arm back behind you, bending that left knee, bringing that left foot into the right hand. If you'd like to take a quad stretch as well as this hip opener. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a lot of hip opening in this practice. I once had a yoga teacher describe hips as the junk drawer of the body. So if you open up your hips, you can sort of clean out everything. Go ahead and release that foot if you had it, and we'll bring the hands back inside the foot. Come back onto the right. Come back right, flat-footed on the right. And we'll pivot that left foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. We'll place the right forearm on top of the right leg and reach the left arm up or up and over, coming into side angle. And slowly we'll come up on the toes of that left foot. Hands will frame the right foot. We'll step the left foot in for forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And hips will stay low as we reach our arms up high, coming into chair pose. Belly button is pulled into spine, back is long and flat. And if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you're always welcome to come up on the toes and sit yourself a little deeper, lowering your hips as much as you can. Maybe bringing the arms back behind you for thunder chair. And slowly we'll come back to forward fold. Plant the hands and either jump, step, or walk the feet back to plank. Coming up on the toes, moving yourself forward. You can either lower your knees or stay on the toes and slowly Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering your body down to the ground. Taking either a baby cobra, king cobra, or an up dog, and flipping the toes, coming back into downward facing dog. And we'll take a moment here in down dog. We'll take a few breaths. If you feel like you need a break, you're welcome to bring your knees to the mat and sit back into child's pose at any point. And if you are in child's pose, go ahead and lift the hips up to downward facing dog. And we'll reach that right leg up high to the sky, coming into three-legged down dog, keeping our hips square to the mat. We'll bring the right knee in towards the nose. Looking forward between the hands, we'll step the right foot forward. Using our hands if it doesn't make it all the way. Planting our left hand inside the right foot. We'll reach the right arm up to the sky for easy twist. And very similar to what we did before, our bodies are twisted to the right. We'll drop that right arm behind our back and we'll sweep that left arm up and over as we come into Exalted Warrior. And we'll rotate that left foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat as we open ourselves up into Warrior Two. And we'll reverse our warrior. And we'll bring our hand down, our right hand down inside the foot, coming into extended side angle. You're welcome to come into side angle if extended side angle doesn't work for you. And slowly we'll begin straightening that right front leg as we come into triangle. And then we'll pivot that left foot, coming into a low lunge again, placing the left hand, sweeping the right arm up to the sky, coming into easy twist, dropping the right hand behind the back. The left arm will reach up and over as we're still twisted to the left. Rotating that left foot, we'll open ourselves up into Warrior Two and reverse our warrior. Slowly we'll cartwheel the hand down, coming inside the foot for extended side angle. And then we'll straighten that right leg as we come into triangle. Coming up on the left toes, we'll bring that left hand down, coming back into runner's lunge. Extending that right arm up high to the sky for easy twist. Dropping the right arm behind the back, keeping that twist, we'll bring the left arm up and over the left ear. Pivoting the left foot, opening up to Warrior Two. Reversing our warrior. Coming into extended side angle. Straightening that right front leg to triangle. Bending that right knee, coming up on the left toes, planting the left hand, planting the right hand. We'll kick that right leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog. And either replace that right foot and come to downward facing dog, or you're welcome to take a vinyasa or a three-legged vinyasa. And we'll take a moment here in downward facing dog. I'm going to switch to the other side so you can see me. And if you are in child's pose, go ahead and lift your hips high to downward facing dog. And we'll lift that left leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog, keeping both hips square to the mat. And we'll bring the left knee in towards our nose. Looking forward between the hands, we'll step the left foot forward, coming into low lunge. Planting the right hand inside the left foot, we'll sweep the left arm up to the sky, coming into easy twist. And we'll bring the left hand behind the back, still twisted to the left. We'll reach that right arm up and over our ear, coming into Exalted Warrior. And we'll pivot that right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat as we open ourselves up into Warrior Two. And reverse our warrior. And cartwheeling that left hand down inside of the right foot, coming into extended side angle. Or coming into side angle on your forearm if you need to. And slowly we'll begin straightening that left leg, coming into triangle. And our hand will come down at the same time. We'll pivot that right foot, coming into low lunge, planting the right hand, sweeping the left arm up to the sky for easy twist. Bringing the left arm behind the back, cartwheeling the right arm up and over our ear, still twisted to the left. And pivoting that right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat, we'll open ourselves up into warrior two. And reverse our warrior. Cartwheeling the hand down, coming into extended side angle, right arm reaches up. Slowly straightening the left leg, coming into triangle pose. And bringing the right hand down, pivoting onto the ball of the right foot, lifting the left arm up to the sky for easy twist. Bringing the left hand behind the back, sweeping the right arm up and over, still twisted to the left. Pivoting that right foot, coming into warrior two. Reversing our warrior. Bringing the left hand down inside the right foot, coming into extended side angle. Straightening that left leg, coming into triangle. And we'll come up on the right toes as we bring our right hand down, sweeping our left arm up, coming to easy twist. Left arm places behind the back, still twisting to the left. We'll reach that right arm up and over our ear, coming into exalted warrior. And pivoting that right foot so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat, we'll open ourselves up to warrior two. We'll reverse our warrior. And we'll bring the left hand inside the left foot, coming into extended side angle. Straightening that left leg, coming into triangle. Bringing that right hand down at the same time, coming up on the right toes. Planting both hands to frame that left foot. We'll kick that left leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog. And you can either replace the foot and come to down dog, you can take a child's pose, you can take a vinyasa, or you can take a one-legged vinyasa. Do whatever feels good to your body. And we'll take a few more breaths here in this down dog. If you need a rest, go ahead and take it. Move to the other side so you can see me. And if you're in child's pose, go ahead and lift your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. And we'll lift that right leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog. And we'll bend that right knee, stacking the hips here, opening the hips. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like, you can come onto the blade edge of the left foot, come up on the toes of the right foot, and come into wild thing. Lifting your hips to the sky, opening your heart. And if you are in wild thing, flip back over. And we'll kick that right leg up high to the sky. We'll bring the right knee over towards the left elbow, and then we'll shoot the right foot out, placing the edge of the right foot on the mat as we open the left arm to the sky, coming into fallen angle. You're welcome to stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can hover that right foot or even take yogi toe hold. Just do whatever level feels right for you. And then we'll place the right hand back on the mat as we kick that right leg up high to the sky. We'll bring the right knee over towards the right elbow, and then we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh, coming into figure 4 down dog. So go ahead and walk your hands back slightly until you can get your left heel onto the ground. Really should be feeling the stretch in the hamstring of that left leg, as well as your right hip. And slowly bending into that left leg, we're going to start walking our hands back all the way to the back of the mat. Still in that figure 4 position. And very slowly, very gently, before you remove your hands, ground into that left foot. Maybe pick up the left toes. Feel all 4 corners of your left foot pressing into the ground. And then replace the toes. Sitting back in the hips, very slowly. Start to gain your balance as you lift your fingers off the ground. Maybe reaching them up above the head. You still want to be sitting low in the hips though. Coming into standing figure 4. Maybe see if you can sink a little lower in the hips. And then slowly we'll bring our hands back towards the ground and we'll start walking our hands forward, coming back into that figure 4 downward facing dog. Pressing into the hands, pressing our chest back towards our thighs. Come up on the toes of the left foot as you kick that right leg up high to the sky. And either replace the right leg and go into downward facing dog, or you can take a vinyasa or a one-legged vinyasa. And we'll come back to downward facing dog. And we'll take a few breaths in down dog, so if you need a break, go ahead and take it. And take another breath here, and then go ahead and lift your hips to downward facing dog if you're in child's pose. And we'll lift that left leg up high to the sky, coming into 3-legged down dog. And we'll start bending that left knee as we stack the hips here. Opening the hips. Looking out through under that left armpit if your body allows it. And if you'd like to, go ahead and flip over, coming onto the blade edge of the right foot, coming up on the left toes, lifting the hips, opening the heart, coming into wild thing. And if you're in wild thing, go ahead and flip back over. Coming into 3-legged down dog with that left leg high. Bring the left knee in towards the right elbow. Kick that left leg through, coming onto the blade edge of the left foot. Open the right arm up high to the sky for fallen ankle. And you're welcome to stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can lift that left foot up. If you want a little bit more than that, you can take yogi toe hold. And we'll go ahead and replace the right hand, kicking that left leg up high to the sky. Bring the left knee over towards the left elbow and slowly bring the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And start walking your hands back just enough so that you can put that right heel down on the ground. So this way you can feel a stretch in your right hamstring as well as a stretch in your hips. So pressing into the hands, pressing your chest back towards your thighs. And then very slowly we'll start walking our hands back towards that right foot. Take a moment to ground into the right foot. Maybe pick up the right toes, feel all four corners of the right foot pressing into the ground. Replace the right toes. And when you feel like you have your balance, slowly begin lifting your fingertips off the ground. Maybe even bringing your arms up to frame your ears. Sitting back into the hips, still keeping that hip stretch. Coming into standing figure four. Maybe sitting a little deeper if you can. Sitting back a little further. And then very slowly we'll start to come forward, landing our hands back on the mat. And slowly walking our fingertips out, coming back into that figure four down dog. And kick that left leg up high to the sky. And you can either place it down, coming into down dog. You can take a Vinyasa or one-legged Vinyasa. And we'll come into downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out the feet if you need to. Coming up on the toes a little bit. And slowly we'll bring our knees down to the ground as we come into a tabletop position. And let's take a few hip circles here. Maybe wiggling from side to side. I guess it would be more like tail wags and less like hip circles. And we'll press our hips over to the left. And we'll walk our hands over to the right. And start walking yourself back to center. And press your hips out to the right as you walk your hands over to the left. And slowly walk yourself back to center. You can take a couple cat-cows here if it feels good. Stretch out the lower back a little bit. And then we're going to bring ourselves down to the side and over onto our backs. We'll bring our feet bottoms to the ground. And we will bring our arms down by our sides. So bring your fingertips to just about where they're touching the heels of your feet. We're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, press into the feet, lifting your hips, lifting your glutes, coming into bridge pose. And gently release yourself down to the ground. We're gonna come into bridge pose again another time, and we're gonna hold this one. So if this is a difficult position for you and you have some sort of a prop like a block, you're welcome to put it beneath you for supported bridge. Otherwise, press into the feet once again. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start lifting the glutes, raising the hips, coming into bridge pose once again. And this time, roll your shoulder blades under. If it's in your practice, you can even clasp your hands together down on the floor, bringing your shoulder blades even further under. And we'll take a few breaths here in bridge pose. And if your hands were clasped, gently release them as you slowly roll yourself down to the ground. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet together as we let our knees splay out wide, coming into a butterfly pose here on our backs. And we're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift your hips up towards the sky with your feet pressing against each other like you're coming into a butterfly bridge. And we might as well get a little glute work, so gently lower halfway down and lift your hips back up. Lower your hips halfway down and lift them back up. And continue doing this. Don't let your hips rest on the ground at all, just lower halfway and press them back up. And gently lower your hips all the way to the ground. Try and press your lower back against the ground, so you might need to tilt your pelvis up a little bit. And we're going to bring our fingertips behind our head and our neck. And pulling our belly buttons into our spine, we're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, lift our head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground, crunching up and releasing. We're going to do a few butterfly crunches. Make sure that you're pulling your belly button into your spine. And you're welcome to stay here like this, or you can reach your hands out in front of you and reach your fingers in between your legs and release back down. Come up. Go ahead and take a few more. And then release your head, neck, and shoulders back to the ground. Bring your arms up over your head and down on the mat behind you, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Stretching out long. And slowly bring your knees back in to touch. We'll bring our arms out to a T. Once again, make sure you're pressing your lower back against the ground. You need to keep your shoulders and your arms pinned to the ground, especially your shoulders. Come up on the toes and lift your legs into shelf so that your knees are at a 90-degree angle and your shins are parallel to the floor. And keeping our shoulders on the floor, keeping our hips down as well. We're going to slowly bring our legs over to the right, keeping that left shoulder blade pinned to the floor, and back to center, and slowly bring our knees over to the left, keeping that right shoulder blade pinned to the floor, and back to center. Knees over to the right, and center, and left, and center. And remember, only go as far down as you can while still keeping the opposite shoulder blade pinned to the floor. If this is too easy for you, you're welcome to straighten your legs. And go ahead and bend the knees once again. And the next time you bring your knees over to the right, go ahead and let them fall towards the ground. Still keeping that left shoulder blade pinned to the ground though. So you might need to use your right hand to support them, or you can use your right hand to pull them gently down towards the ground. You're welcome to look to the left if your neck allows it. Coming into supine twist. Gently release your right arm down. Bring your knees back up to center. And gently drop them over to the left, keeping that right shoulder pinned to the ground. You can use your left hand to support you, or use your left hand to bring your knees closer to the ground. Looking over your right, looking over to the right if your neck allows it. Slowly bring your head back up to center. Bring your knees back in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees and curl yourself up into a tight ball here, taking your head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor, squeezing yourself into the tightest ball possible, and extend your feet to each corner of the mat as you extend your arms to the opposite corners of the mat. And pull everything in tight, squeezing yourself into a little ball, pulling your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. And release yourself like an X, so that your hands go to each corner and your feet go to each corner. And once again, we'll squeeze ourselves into a teeny tiny little ball, and then reach ourselves out to the corners. And bring your knees in towards your chest, and you bring your arms inside of your legs. We're going to come into happy baby, so you can either grab the outside edges of your feet, or you can take yogi toe hold. You're going to tuck your tailbone so that it's down on the ground, pressing your tailbone towards the ground. Pull your knees in towards your armpits, as you flex your feet towards the ceiling, coming into happy baby. And if it feels good, you're welcome to roll back and forth a little to massage the spine. Eventually we'll come back to center and extend the right leg out, coming into half happy baby or window pose. If it feels good, you can rock back and forth a little bit like this as well. And then bring that right leg back in and extend the left. Rocking if you'd like to, or staying still. Bending both knees in, either keeping your yogi toe hold or holding the outside edges of your feet, or even grabbing onto the ankles or the calves if you need to. Slowly, we're going to extend both legs out, coming into straddle pose. And bring your legs together. Bend your knees in. Once again, wrap your arms around your knees and pull yourself into the tightest ball possible, bringing your head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor. And release yourself into that X position one last time. You can bring your arms back down by your sides, flipping your shoulders, rolling your shoulder blades under, flipping your palms up towards the sky. And feel free to find a comfortable position for you to come into Shavasana. And we'll close our eyes and begin to relax. Take a moment to be thankful for everything your body did for you. Take a moment to be thankful that you took this time out for yourself. If you set an intention for your practice, I invite you to come back to that now. If you dedicated your practice to someone, you can be with them as well. And just take a few moments to completely relax. You're welcome to stay in this position as long as you like. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.